Welcome to episode 1 of season 3 of Surviving Nairobi. Kama kawaida, it's your boy Hafare, aka Daddy Ibrahim, aka Macaroni Tony, aka Jimmy Humu Nukunuku Apua, aka the Outfluencer, aka Celery Head, aka the Propane Man, aka Honorable Madisha, aka Tabiambaya Teacher. And finally for this season, it's your divorced uncle. Antenyo aliniacha nikiwa nyumbani. Kimnihurumie.
Times are hard. Alafu tena kuna baridi. Oh my god.
Okay, I'm a visitor here and I didn't know that. I'm not sure I would have come if that was going to happen.
Kama kawaida tuko na nani?
Hey manze, I'm so happy to be back. It's been a while. Season 3. Whoop whoop. And I don't have any AKAs. 2 seasons down the line. This is the 3rd season. Sijui ni mimi niko backward ama I'm not creative enough, but
Hauna effort.
Sina effort.
Hauna effort.
Also plus corona man, kila kitu iko chini mpaka creativity. But kama if you guys have not noticed, we are now on video. Like
mnaniona urembo tu yote, maanti zenyu please keep them away from the TV mkiona hiki kitu.
I feel like this
I don't want to break homes.
This is your time.
This is my time
to outfluence yourself.
Look at me, my good hair, my beard. Angalia viatu zangu venye ni mzuri.
Haya. So I want to introduce our guests.
Yes.
Also hamja notice we are all in black. Like na hatuko hata tumeambiana by the way.
There was no memo, please.
There was no memo. It is what it is. So welcome Shad.
Hi, I'm Shad. I'm the banker. I come teach these guys some money tricks.
The plug as in
So for your analytical stuff, you talk to me. These are the loud guys. I'm just the one who talks them around.
We are halfway into this, so don't be too sure.
No, as in
Don't be too sure.
tumefika ile point we are used to it. Tumezoea. Anyway, so episode ya leo ni about the most important topic,
Money.
pesa. Hii episode ilikuwa tufanya season 1 lakini due to circumstances being beyond our control hatujakuwa na the ability
Sana money issues.
Yes, sana money issues. But now we are on video, tuko na less money issues. Tuko sawa cooperate. So before anything else, nataka kila mtu aseme hapa wenye anaongea. Tell us what is the most irresponsible thing umefanya na pesa yako? Because Shad, the guest, please. Tuambie.
Do us the honors.
Okay, like I said, I'm a banker. And just so you know, this is a fact by the way. Bankers are some of the brokest people you ever meet.
For real?
How is that?
That's a fact. That's number 1. Number 2, bankers have some of the easiest ways to access finance. Debt. So let me tell you my worst mistake. Back in 2014, as a young banker, just got a job, stayed for a couple of months, and then I got my confirmation letter after probation.
Yeah.
Small salary.
Unajua kwa kazi.
Kazi sasa. Then, like 2 days later, my colleague tells me, by the way, you can take a loan. I'm like, what? It's unsecured. As in, I don't have to prove anything. As in, I just write an email to HR. It's approved. A week later, I was just sitting back like this with $1 million shillings in my account.
$1 million?
No security, nothing. Because I'm a banker.
Endelea, because this story inakaa itaenda place ingine tutashtuka tu. We are not prepared for the ending.
I was a bit scared with that. So, because I was scared, I took another loan, took that up. And I bought a car, my first car. Hey. No, okay. This is actually the gist of what I've come to talk about today. That was 2014. That's 6 years ago. To date, 2020, I'm past 30 years old. I'm still regretting that decision and the impact it had on my credit score. To date. I still have the car, yes. It's a headache. Well, I'm a bit better off. But that decision to take that 1 million shillings and the extra I took back in 2014 when I was 20-something, that decision has given me to date. I am still regretting it because of the impact it had on my net income and my credit score and my availability, my ability to take more debt. It's a whole lot of things which a lot of youth wouldn't know because nobody will tell you otherwise. People will be like, you can take your loan. I mean, why not?
Yeah, you can buy a car via loan.
But the bankers are so especially I believe lenders, wako so they're so insistive as in chukua tu loan. Hauna mradi, hauna nini. No, but they never tell you about the impact.
Nobody will tell you because nobody knows until
you get there.
People will know when they're 35.
Ah.
And if you're not 35, even if you tell your 20-year-old self, they'll be like, you're lying. You're telling me because you took it, you don't want me to take it.
Ah.
So they won't believe you. So it's a circle. It's the same trap for everyone. Anyway, I'm not convincing you not to take debt. Debt is good. What you do with it is what matters.
How is it good, honestly? Because mimi hata nikiokoa jahazi.
Before to back up how debt is good, let's just finish on what we started on. Historia. Ivy, tell us your worst financial decision. Sema mimi nitawaambia yangu, si eti nini.
Okay, honestly, the Kikuyu in me will never allow me to be in debt, but I have made some very, very stupid financial decisions. Like, there's one time when I was in campus, you know, when you're in campus, you have money. And you're not aware you have money up until you leave campus. And you're like, wow, enyewe nilikuwa na ball. So when I was in campus, I dared buy a phone via OLX. And I went with cash up front. And nikauziwa simu imbo. I think nishaichapa hii story.
Yeah, was it like episode 2?
Yeah.
Season 1?
Yeah,
I remember.
So your time, si nimeuziwa simu imbo. And then I went and bought another phone because I could. And I was like, come to think of it, like in retrospect, I did not need the other phone. Yeah. So I ended up suffering na survival noodles just because I want to.
Okay. Unataka kuflex.
Niko na because nataka kuflex basically. Because yangu ilikuwa to flex, and that was the most stupid financial decision I've ever made. I still regret sometimes. Like I just think about it like at 3 a.m. and I'm like, fuck, ningekuwa na hiyo pesa sai.
Okay. Yangu ni a bit more. I don't say ni regret, but I feel like if I knew what I know now, singefanya vitu nilifanya. Because those people who know me, like watu wananijua outside the podcast, nini, my friends, like 2015 nilikuwa na engage in some not so legal activities, redacted.
You're on video now, be very careful.
So yeah,
they can see your face.
Stay vigilant.
yeah, so like no, they can't prove anything. So yeah, so I was coming into a lot of cash constantly, like for myself, and I did like treat myself to some things, but it was to the point where like if I had decided to save, ningekuwa at a point where like nilikuwa sasa nimesha labda nimenunua ploti, niko na gari yangu bila loan nini, but because I was in third year, mimi ni kijana wa campus, all my friends tunataka tu kufanya ni kupiga sherehe, so I would come into like quite a bit of cash on Friday because I know next Friday napata do ingine, so I would just like go enjoy myself, napiga sherehe, I do whatever I want, nikijua tu I'm just spending money, like I'm going to the club spending 25 Gs, ni pesa tu, it will come next week.
Money is there, so you use it.
So when vitu ziligo sideways sasa, do I realize, you know what, maybe I could have like bought something, put it into an asset, started a business. But also I feel like I did that, so hata saizi nikipata pesa ina gani, I have no urge to go like and splurge it through konje kikumbafu, because I already went through that phase. Hizi vitu zote watu wanafanyanga. Midlife crisis nili have at 22. So yeah, I feel like I could have done better.
Don't be too sure.
No, honestly I could have done better, but I feel like right now when I come into a huge amount of money, now I know that okay, even if I want to, hata hiyo njia ya kwenda kufanya hizi vitu ilishatoka. Kupiga sherehe, kwenda coast, kufanya nini, spending this money.
Because I used to say the same thing up until sometimes I think about like, you know, like when you're manifesting the things you want to achieve.
Yeah.
And you're like, now you begin to live in that moment in your head. And you're like, when you elevate to a different stage in your life, because you're never ready for it. Saizi, you may think you're ready, which is okay because based on your past experiences.
Before,
exactly.
But
saizi Hafare, acha nikwambie, if you got to a point where you're banking like 5M a week or 5M in 2 weeks, like 10M a month, mse hautakuwa na hautasema ati
maybe you won't be doing the same things you were doing then, because of, but you'll be doing other things, like you won't be going to coast, but you'll be going to Dubai.
Exactly.
It's not the same thing. You'll be doing the same thing.
Okay, exactly. I feel like I'd still go to Dubai, but pia ningekuwa like aware of the fact that okay, so nipata 5M, a certain percentage of this money has to go somewhere to do something. Like whatever I'll do, like this alafu later backing, sawa, I'll go then I'll Dubai. Before the full amount nilikuwa napata naenda kupiga sherehe.
Okay. Now that's a
pesa
that
ingia kwa napata 30k Friday at 4, Saturday 4am sina pesa.
You have nothing.
Saturday 4am
That's 24 hours later.
Najipata niko Burger King nikinunua burgers in That's when, like, not 24 hours, 12 hours later.
Oh, 12 hours later.
4 p.m. Friday, Saturday 4 a.m. mi sina shilingi. Na niko ile like it is what it is.
In the words of Nyashinsky, usiomoke mchana ukakuwa umesota by jioni. Asubuhi.
You know my feelings towards Nyashinsky.
No, but like that statement, it makes sense.
Okay, it makes a lot of sense.
Financially, yeah. So, more about debt. Like, what's so good about debt?
Okay. In finance, there's something called the principle of leverage.
Okay.
If today you had a company where you make income, and then at some point you need let's say you want to sell your company or you want to put it up in the stock market. If you go out to have that proposal done, then you show that even though you make 1 million shillings a month, let me just put a small figure, 1 million shillings a month from your company, right? But you show that all your capital, all the money invested in your company is from capital, as in, personal capital or family capital or whatever. There's a lower chance of your company succeeding than having, let's say, 50-50. Debt and equity. Equity is,
Yeah.
It's the principle of leverage. Using your own money is not good. You'd rather have, because what's the point of, if let's say I can buy these machines, 10 of them with my own money, and I have a perfect business model, right? I can do calculations, can show that instead of buying 10, take more debt, buy 100, because if you can see there is a good reason, there is actually provable as in income coming in, then take the debt. Debt is good because, okay, let's look at ourselves right now, right? If you don't come from a politician's family, you're not a rich person.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for you to own a plot? You will die renting and stuff like that.
Yes.
Literally, there's not, unless you go and steal.
Wizi wa mabavu.
Which?
So the only thing which will save you is actually going to take that debt. Taking debt to buy a car is not a bad thing. Is in you can look at the pros and the cons. You can look and say it's good for you at some point.
Yeah.
But you will not be able to do it with your salary. So you'll go. So debt is good, but it's only good depending on what you do with the money. Okay.
I get you.
Taking debt to repay debt isn't a good thing. Like the way people do. I take a KCB, I'm sure doing for 1,000 bob. No, for 10,000 bob. Then next month, when the payment comes, I
Hauna
take
pesa.
No.
Tala.
You have to pay it. It's a month.
Yeah, like
I'll go and take a Tala loan
Yeah.
to pay
to
the
repay the
To
KCB
pay.
insurance, which I'll take more to repay the branch loan. So it's a circle of
Debt.
circle of debt.
of bad debt. It's only help you the first month you took it because you actually did something with it. After that, you're taking more debt to repay this, so you're not actually getting any benefit from it.
Yeah.
So that's what is a problem. Is a quagmire with debt.
So basically watu wengi wanachukuanga deni not for the right purposes.
Not for the right purposes. Okay, I know. Yes, it's our economy, the way jobs are set up, the way income is set up. But you see, okay, this is now research done. In Kenya, the people who suffer the most with I know Hafare have a problem with mobile loans.
Yes, I do. Tuliongea before. Yeah.
We talked before. He really has a problem with them.
I don't.
So let me just get into them before he
actually,
starts. One of the problems in Kenya with the youth right now, so it's not with the youth, for the youth, is mobile loans. The way they started back in 2014, I think, a Canadian company with some Indian engineers, they came and researched the Kenyan market and realized. Sorry, I don't know how to use this.
Ni sawa tu. Unasikika bado.
Naweza
And
kushikia.
it's fine. They
Unasikika bado.
realized that these kids, by kids I mean anybody between the age of 18 to 35, 38, these people, they are broke. Do you know what they did? They came in and they asked everyone, they looked for everyone with a smartphone. And then they asked them, download this app of ours. If you download it, and you put in your name, your ID number, I'll give you $10. To them, $10 is nothing. 1,000 bob.
Kitu kidogo sana.
So they splashed 1 billion shillings in the first month or the first 6 months. 1 billion shillings.
Wait, so you're telling me they gave out 1 billion shillings in 1,000 bobs each?
Yeah.
Guy.
Do you know the name of this company? Tala.
Oh no, I was.
Okay, nilikuwa na suspect.
Suspecting.
Na
Hata
mimi, hata
mimi.
mimi, as in, unashuku tu like
Tala. And then they started they asked people to repay. So if they give to, let's say, 1,000 people, they'll get a repayment rate of 80%. Because they tell you if you repay, The next time I'm going to give you 1,500 shillings. The next time 2,000 shillings. So they got a repayment of 85%. So they remain the first 15%. They don't even bother following up with them. They drop them. So these 85 people will go and tell another 10 people each.
Yeah.
So within 2 months, they have 20,000 people. Within a year, they have a book of 140 billion shillings. And they just sit back. Do you know why they sit back? I was explaining to someone. There's something called an APR, annual percentage rate. Listen to this. If you go to a bank today and take a loan of 1 million shillings, okay? And then in a year, you will have repaid 1 million shillings plus 13%. That's kidogo money.
Well,
That's kidogo money.
It's manageable.
Now, if I had 1 million shillings today, I can come and say, let me lend to you 1 million shillings. At the end of the year, pay me back 1 million shillings and 13%. Okay? That's not a lot of money. I'm just wasting my time. Isn't there a lot of energy chasing you to come and repay, what? And then I have another option. I can take these 1 million shillings. I break it into bits of 1,000 shillings. That's 1,000 people. Okay? And then I give each one of these 1,000 people 1,000 shillings. And I tell them, you know what? Since I've given you 1,000 shillings, so in a month, you return to me 1,000 shillings plus 100 bob.
bob, yeah.
It's
That's
kidogo
doable.
money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Calculate it. That's 10%, right?
Yeah.
In a month, I have my 1 million shillings plus
Plus.
100,000 shillings.
Which would have made in a year.
Yeah.
Which
Which
is
would have
also-
made in a year.
Yeah.
In a year, I'll have my 1 million shillings
Plus 1.2.
plus 12 million shillings. It's 120%. It's 10% times 12 months.
Okay. Okay.
And in this case, I'm not even calculating reinvesting the interest.
You're just collecting.
I'm just collecting. This is what these companies did. And they made it so when they did that, other companies came up. Branches in Australia, Australian or Indian. Did the same thing. So before long, you, a youth without access to money, can access 20,000 shillings in a month. Right?
Credit easy my app and
Yeah.
mobile loans,
These apps.
yeah.
And what do you do with them? Somebody else comes up and tells you, there were 1,000 bob. I know a way you can make it to 100,000 bob. What? Look at these games. Bet on them. Gambling. So it became a circle of taking debt to go and gamble. Then you lose it. Go take other debt. Now you don't know, do I repay the first one or do I gamble? Maybe I can make more.
More.
Yeah. The
The
curiosity.
yeah,
That's
the
What do you
traps,
third
yeah.
one? And then
Cycle
now,
continues.
these guys started doing something. Started listing you the credit difference bureaus.
So you can't get any credit anywhere.
Listen, they list you with CRBs. Now, you're young, you're 22. You've been doing this until you're 25, you get a small job, and 30K. Continue. By the time you're 27, you make 100,000 shillings. You get paid off. Or you will forget that you threw away the line and forgot about them. Now, suddenly, you're 30 years old. You want to, you've seen, I can invest in some business here and there. Let me go to KCB and take a real loan. Take yourself there and do your application. You hear application denied. You're a serial defaulter. You know what messes you up? 1,000 bob you took when you were just in campus. CRB regulations from 2013. Once you take a loan, once you're listed with CRB negatively, that negative listing will be removed once you pay it. So you took the loan when you were 22. You came in, it wasn't 1,000 bob. So after you realize that you're listed now, you're going to pay it off. Then you go back. You told, but you're still a defaulter. We know. Then remove my CRB. The CRB regulations say that information will stay there for 5 to 7 years after you repay it. It is still there like this.
So any black
So-
mark,
so
regardless.
you-
Black mark.
Regardless.
It's called blacklisting.
Yeah, for a reason.
Because of small things you did when you were
So
young.
regardless of you paying it or not, it's still there.
So it's still there. Now, I'm a credit analyst. I'm an analyst. Huh? Did I say I'm an analyst?
Yes, you
say
did.
you're a banker.
Ulisema
Yeah,
a banker
I'm
and
a
a credit
banker.
analyst.
And then I'm an analyst inside the bank.
Yeah.
I'm not a banker who gives you money over the teller. No. Don't tell the teller where to put that money. Okay. So, in credit, I see a lot of people who are affected by decisions they made when they were young. Last year, no. This year, actually, with when this COVID started, the government came in with regulations and say one of the things that CBK, one of the things that CBK, the Central Bank of Kenya, is trying to do, because these mobile apps, they're not regulated or anything.
Actually, that's another thing I'll
They are
talk
trying
about.
to make them become regulated. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about
So one of the things they do, they told them, no more listing people with CRBs with debts of less than 1,000 shillings. You find that someone is not getting a loan for 10 million shillings because he's listed for taking a loan of 200 shillings. It's nothing really.
And he's in a position where he can service that loan, 10 million, just because he has CBK.
CBK stands to regulate them. Anyway, I've been looking at this here. I work with them on an average day. I look at people. I analyze their ability to pay, their willingness to pay. I look at their past debts and everything. And really, mobile apps, they should really be regulated.
Yeah, but there's a thing. There was a time. Was it late last year? I remember seeing that Google Play Store, they had like a policy targeted towards these mobile apps. Like, you can't be on the Play Store if you're offering a certain percentage of interest over a month. But I don't know if how well it has been enforced, because I remember they actually ilikuwa announced, but I don't think it's being enforced.
No, it's you see, Google does not have the capacity to, or the authority to regulate that. Theirs is only to regulate that the app is not malicious. And to create a platform for the distribution of the apps. So that's the work of the Central Bank of Kenya. But now, it's a whole... Now, you see, CRBs, they are success because of one thing. You see, they can't come and attach your assets to your loan. So the thing that saves them is listing the customers with the CRBs, which will deny them credit with the other bankers. So CBK can cut off their legs with one very simple thing. Because the CRBs themselves, they are an act of the Kenyan government and the Central Bank of Kenya. So their full authority comes from the CBK. So the only way that the CBK can regulate this is tell them you can only list people from the list of organizations that we give you, which are the 43 banks, and this list of SACCOs and MFIs, microfinance institutions, only. You are not allowed to list someone from a digital lender unless they are regulated by us.
So regulatory.
But now it's
lobbying pia unajua ni powerful.
Do you know why? What I tell you is the advantage that these companies get. That lending 1 million shillings to 1 million people, to 1,000 people at 10% per month. It's the high interest rates.
Yeah.
If CBK were to regulate them, they will not allow them to lend at those rates. So if they are to agree to the regulation, it will no longer be that profitable for them. So they just pull out of the business. So it's it's coming balance to a compromise, which is now where the problem is. As we speak, that compromise has not been reached. That's why they are still exploiting people.
Because there's this like app. It's been marketed by celebrities a lot. Into Zenka.
Yeah, I've seen
it. Like celebrities are everywhere, and because for a lot of people, especially younger people, they resonate a lot with celebrities. Because somebody might see like maybe, for example, say sema wamefanya like mtu like Fena or like calligraph aki endorse Zenka, they might think of it as something good.
They relate,
and then unajipata na hiyo debt trap. Because when I went to check their like interest rates, they're exorbitant. Because like if you're borrowing like let's say 10 Gs, sindio, you're paying back like 15, which is 50%.
That's 15% in a month.
No, 5,000. If they're giving you like if you're giving you like 10 Gs, you're paying back like 4 Gs on top, which is you have to pay back 14,000, which is at the end of the month.
So
that's 40%.
What you do is do this. That's 40%. If you do a very simple thing, multiply it by 12. That gives you the annual
and that's for one person.
That's 480%.
And the thing is,
my friend, ask yourself, if I take 1 billion shillings every month, that multiply by 480, you're paying this guy 4.something billion shillings. That is what they are doing.
But the thing is, alafu pia there's the constant trap of, okay, I borrowed 10 Gs, I have to pay back 14. Now I'm at a deficit of 4. Now I take 14 to make up for the deficit.
And have extra.
Unajipata like help you the first month only.
Unachimba tu shimo hadi unafika point where una hit rock bottom where you're like, okay, I can't take anymore and I'm in the hole for like 10 Gs now. What do? You have to go borrow from somebody else to come and cover this debt.
Pay this one.
Borrow this tena to cover that. And in the end, unajipata tu in a constant circle of debt of
borrowing.
So the only people who benefit are these apps. And let me tell you something. You have a problem with these things. It's a lot of problems. You see, number one, none of them are owned by local people. All of these.
Exactly, in international.
They're European. This is another form of colonization, by the way.
Do you think it would have been any better if they're owned by locals?
Well, no, but at least
capitalism is capitalism.
It's better for you to eat than let somebody come and eat.
Watanjenga wariro kule pesa yangu than some dude in Australia in a farm.
Because
have you noticed by the even like locally owned like Safaricom, KCB, Mpesa, the interest rates are usually
they are
better.
Bad, yes, but not that bad.
They're not that bad. They're like better compared to all these other like hey, kuna mtu, I spend a lot of time on Reddit. I think people who listen to this show know. So there's somebody who posted on Reddit how, you know Okash. Okash is one of the worst lenders in the market.
Yeah.
Those guys will even call your bosses. They will call your family members.
Doesn't
they will call
Tala do
everyone.
that also?
No.
Tala calls
Tala
her friends, yeah?
Tala they'll
It's
send
Okash,
like
and
a
there's
collection
another
agency.
new one called what something which
Yeah.
calls you
Yes,
family and stuff.
they call your
What
family.
They do, let me tell you something. Do you know why these apps are not in iPhones?
The embarrassment.
Do you know why these apps are not in iPhones?
Yeah.
Because for you to get an app on the App Store, the scrutiny goes through.
I
your
know, I
lot.
understand. There's even a big case right now because of that.
They just allow apps. These apps, what they do, once you download them, they read all your texts and all your contacts, pick them up and send them to a database.
So as I was saying,
That's why you default on 1,000 shillings, they call your grandmother.
yeah.
Like-
so, as I was saying, when you know they call you here. Somebody in they're also, by the way, these apps are worldwide. In Indonesia, what they do, they don't call your people. They take all your contacts, create a WhatsApp group, put everyone in it,
You're
and then
joking.
they post there, please tell so and so to pay the loan.
You are
Yes, somebody
joking.
on Reddit actually even posted a screenshot like,
Wow.
Okash will put
That's
all
embarrassing.
imagine you have 1,000 contacts, kila mtu sharp kwa WhatsApp group, wanashanga you have been added to WhatsApp group. The only message hapo juu, please tell so and so to pay their loan. You see?
By the way, do you know Okash? Do you know Opera Mini?
Yes.
Opera Mini owns Okash.
Wait, like Opera the company?
Yeah. Opera Mini, the ones with this browser, this red browser. With
Literally,
that's
so
why I
that's Opera Mini
stopped
Cash.
using. That's why I stopped using their browsers. Those guys.
Seriously?
Kumbe wana wanafanya hizi
I
vitu.
remember I saw it when it first came up. Now, I had another problem. What is that? What are you talking about? There's something I was about to say. You know, these apps.
Okay, wait, unajua
You know, I can talk about these apps for days and days.
I know.
Database and sending it to your...
Yeah. You know,
Pia ni invasion of privacy ingine
anyway,
hatari.
my whole point with this thing is what we need is regulation. The government CBK, the government is too disorganized. CBK needs to look into regulation of these digital lenders. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Regulation of them, and that's it. Because you cannot educate the youth on financial literacy when there is something called financial exclusion. You cannot tell someone, don't take a loan of 1,000 bob, when that 1,000 bob
between
is
your
their
poverty.
food in the evening.
Yes.
Or that 1,000 bob is their only hope that I can take it and bet it and make 100,000 shillings. You see, hope kills, but hope trumps and hunger. If the moment there is no money, there is no food, even if you tell them go and kill people and give you money,
They'll do it, yeah. It comes from desperation.
it comes from desperation.
Yeah.
So that's what these companies feed on.
Yeah, because I feel like in a much stronger economy where people have jobs and everything, these companies would be thriving. Because I mean,
They wouldn't
They
be.
wouldn't
They wouldn't be.
thrive in European countries.
Yeah.
They thrive in
Third world
they're
countries.
called
Third
emerging,
Emerging economies, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Singapore,
Africa.
Malaysia, Africa, but not whole of Africa, because
It
not
says
whole of it
that.
don't have. You can't do the same thing in Uganda, for the simple fact that the way the Uganda whatever is set up, they don't have ID numbers. So even CRBs don't work in Uganda. They don't have ID numbers.
Apparently, that's
They don't
the
have
thing.
ID
A lot of
numbers.
In
places.
Uganda, your ID, you just go to the street and buy then you see this thing like a driving license. Then you stick your photo, take to the chief, he stamps it.
But apparently,
And identified.
IDs are like, even in Tanzania, IDs are like the ID number we get, like ID number yako ni attached to you personally.
It's not.
Ni kitu very recently. Sisi tumekuwa now from, for us, ID number ni kitu ya zamani.
From Kipande.
Aware.
In Nigeria, their IDs are passports. You become fully identified when you get a passport. Otherwise, you're just somebody else. You can get close. People, you can find someone who has 10 different names.
That explains a lot about Nigeria.
Why
A
do
lot.
you think Nigerians are how they are?
Siku moja tuongea about Nigeria kwa hii podcast na nitasema vitu do you know there was a time Nigerians came for me on Twitter in like 2014 because you remember the time there was a fake Kim Kardashian tweet ati how ati amefika Nigeria, she hopes she doesn't get AIDS. It was fake, sindio?
It was fake.
So me I tweeted that the only thing in Nigeria is desperation and heroin. I was reckless. no, you are thinking maybe of the one for Colombia, the one for they're celebrating cocaine.
Leave that for one way.
No, me I just tweeted the only thing in Nigeria is desperation and heroin.
Yeah, I saw that tweet.
Nakwambia,
I didn't know
they
it was.
came for me, and by then I was reckless back in the day with my tweets. Only camp in my mentions and anyway.
So like how in matters crime and
You
all
see,
that, how are they identified?
they're still using the traditional model of the chief. You see, in Kenya, let me tell you something. Let's go back. But they have a lot of stories. That's my problem.
That's
This-
please,
they can talk.
Yeah.
Because any platform
Yes,
ya
Look
kuongea.
at this,
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, Moi had a system of chiefs. He took it from before the colonialists and from Kenyatta, the older Kenyatta that is. Moi, you see the way right now people can talk about Uhuru. Moi didn't care about that. Didn't care about the big politicians. Do you know when somebody said, Uhuru walks out of State House and looks at the V8, counts the V8s passing Dennis Pritt and State House Road and says, the economy is fine. Because he doesn't know.
Yeah,
He's not
kweli,
aware.
out of touch.
Nobody, the people who are around him, they tell him, wait, don't worry, those people are complaining. They are just lying to you. Everything is fine. Moi wasn't like that. Moi knew the chiefs and the sub-chiefs. As in, today, this weekend, your chief would disappear. Where is he? Your chief from in the middle of nowhere. He's in State House drinking tea with Moi.
Wow.
Moi knew all the chiefs because he knew that the person closest to the people is the chief.
Yeah.
And then, wachana Nairobi, wacha kwenu. Do you know the chief knows everyone?
Yeah, kweli.
Yeah.
And the chief knows everything.
You know, personally, I work very closely in my job with
Oh,
chiefs.
you're a social- you work
I'm
with
a
the
social
social-
worker. I work very closely with chiefs, assistant chiefs.
You'd be
Nikitaka
surprised
mtu,
what they know.
nikitaka mtu, I just call the chief wa certain area ambia, hey chief ni aje, I need to find this person, they need to do this and this.
And they will
and
find
by
it.
the end of the
Effective.
day, they'll tell you, okay, this person ako hapa, or if maybe they're dead, maybe they've moved out, they will give me
They'll
a way
have-
kumpata.
Now, so answering your question, how that works in Nigeria and Uganda.
Yeah.
In Uganda, I've been in Uganda by the way. I studied in Uganda for some years. They have something called the LC, local council. That idea I was talking about, it has to be started by your LC chief, your local, because he knows you, he knows your family.
Yeah.
That's how they work. So the trust is not on you, it's on
the
your
chief.
LC. That's how they work. That's why in Nigeria, I was reading about people literally, someone lives here with a wife and family, and everyone knows him, is identified as a village elder and everything. And he also lives 200 kilometers away with the same thing with a wife and a family, and is known as compared to someone else. Because he's known.
What?
Yes, because
There's different identities.
There's no identity to put you as one person.
Ah,
That's dangerous.
It's Nigeria. Nigeria is dangerous.
Well,
clearly.
yeah.
Sasa, something I want to ask you, Shad, as you, in your professional opinion, because we have like thousands of people listen to this podcast, and I believe like more people will come in this season.
Yeah.
Where, in your professional opinion, what is the best financial advice you can give to somebody young in Nairobi? Like in Kenya, actually, mtu, let's say ameanza like kuingia job market right before. That's what I want to hear.
Same question, but ningependa tu coin kidogo. I gave my example of when I was in campus, right? When you're in campus, you have access to money.
You have access to money, yes.
Exactly. So same question, but now from mtu wako campus, na kona access to money, kuendelea juu.
Kuendelea juu,
Yeah.
Okay. When I was in campus, by the way, I was like you. That kind of access to money, I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Now, when I left campus, I had this girlfriend. She was like 15 years older than me.
aunties hapa.
Iko mtoka mbogia manti kama mimi. Finally, nice to meet another one. Nice to meet another one.
I'm sure you feel at home.
Ai, mimi na Shad tunaongea. Tunaenda chamber after this. Tunaenda chamber tupige trade war stories.
Now, she was a lawyer. What she would do, now I was still jobless then. She was working, but you know the way law firms pay peanuts. She used to make kidogo money, like a net income of like 40K a month. But every month, I'd been in town, she's like, come to my office, go to office. She gives me a check of 10,000 shillings, regardless of what she's paid. 10,000 bob. Go and deposit it in Blair Investment Bank. It's an investment bank. So for her, whatever happens, she would save 10K. Whatever happens. Now, I know that might be coming from a point of privilege. Other people might not have the opportunity to save that amount of money.
Yeah.
But if you can save even 100 bob,
Save it.
Save
Yeah.
it.
if you can save 1,000 bob, do it. Look at this. You know this 52-week challenge here?
Yeah.
Now, let's not call it a 52-week challenge. Let's save a fixed amount of money per month. If you make even 20K per month, save 2,000 bob. At the end of the year, you'll have 24,000 bob. You're like, this is my money. Okay, let me ask you. Do you know that feeling of having money in your account?
Yeah.
Now, back
Gives you some kind
some
of
of
pride,
my bad financial decisions. I've ever taken a loan of 3 million shillings. Do you know the pride of umelala hivi? Then you wake up, you log into your mobile phone app, unaona 29.98,745. You don't even want to eat lunch. You don't even want to use that money. Just unazima simu alafu unarudi kulala. You wake up and look at it.
Bado ni pesa yangu.
It's still mine.
Yeah.
Okay, forget the implications of the repayment, which is another story, but forget that. But that point of having your own money. Now, I can't advise you what you're going to do with that money. Buying a plot. See, everybody's advice is different, and all advice is good, some is bad. But my only thing is try and save. Especially as a youth in Kenya. This life will fuck you up. Kenya is really Kenya is near like America. You know the way Americans, you can be making a serious income today, next month you're living on the streets.
Yeah.
You're homeless. You know that happens, eh?
Exactly.
Kenya, the only thing which is saving us from that is that tuko na ocha.
Actually, yeah.
Guy,
Let me tell you something.
In the words of QTC,
kwanza
narudi ocha.
mimi nimeenda ocha juzi. I relate to that
Unajua
like
ocha kwetu ni wapi?
100%.
Mimi nakimbia sana.
I normally say I'm a shy person, I'm not a social person, but people say, Shadi, you know how to talk a lot. Well, I have a lot of stories.
That's
Now,
good.
Speak.
Now, like I said, I mentioned the American economy. Said you can be working today, making good money.
Yeah.
2 months later, you're homeless, you're living on the streets, you're pushing a supermarket trolley with all your belongings. In Kenya, if you don't take care, it will happen to you. Let me give an example. Now, this is all to back up my point about saving. And that 1,000 shillings, that 2,000 shillings, it will help you.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine, I want to mention whom, and I know you'll not listen to this podcast. So, this guy, I've known him for 5 years now. Some other social activity, so we know each other. He was the baller. Used to work with Cooperative Bank. The baller. He'd come, when we'd go for activity for the weekend with a group of people, and then he could use 50k, 100,000 shillings in a weekend. And the activity is monthly.
And it would not affect him.
It wouldn't affect him in any way. Has a wife, has 2 children. They live in one of the estates in Nairobi. Last year. No, not last year. It's now 2 years.
Yeah.
He lost his job.
At cooperative.
But now the job he used to do was not very skill-based. Anybody can do it. And he's been doing it for 15 years. So he has no other skill.
So it's disposable.
So whatever he applies for a job, so what can you do? Administrator, office administrator, boss, office admin. He used to have money because, office administration has a lot of money.
Yeah, najua.
So that's 2 years ago. A year ago, his wife left with the kids because mono kai ukufe, as in little, why would you stay and die?
Come and
That was
kill
one
myself.
Hey. 6 months later, the guy is out of house, can't go back home because ile aibu pia umekom mtu mkubwa, gari ishaenda nini. Do you know what he does right now? He lives in one of the slums. He pays rent of 600 shillings a month, which he cannot even find. We actually have to hook him up with it. With 600 shillings in a month. As in, it's like this from being in the streets.
Wow. The importance of saving, boys.
He worked there for those 15 years. If he'd been saving even 2,000 shillings a month for the 15 years, those 50k used to blow per month. If he'd been saving 10 out of it, where would he be right now?
I wouldn't be there.
Haiko hapo.
That's food for thought for you.
But the thing is, hata mimi, I've been in situations where I spend time with a lot of people because of what I do as a job. Na pia mimi it's very social. You find yourself in positions where people with a lot of cash, people with really high paying jobs, somehow too, wanakuja wanakuomba pesa. Now understand how, but the thing is,
they're so reckless with their money.
People who know me, wanajua there's somebody who nili lament about for years because we were out with somebody, since we went out tukaenda 1924 tukapiga sherehe. That man nikiona with my own eyes, mimi nikiona macho yangu, we spent 50 Gs that night kwa club. Put money down, sindio? Then the next morning, akanipigia. Akaniambia my car has an issue, I need 30 Gs. So tell me, you know what, I don't have 30 Gs right now, I have 5 Gs. Let me send it to you. Do you know, it took me 3 years to get that 30 Gs back.
That 5 Gs back.
Oh yeah, that 5 Gs, okay. Yeah, that 5 Gs it'll take 3 years, 3-4 years to get back because he blocked my number, he would not pick my calls, he would not talk through intermediaries because he lives in another town before I saw him. Do you know how I got it back? We met in the club again. Honestly, the same place, 1824 tulipatana 4 years later, they come, you know what, nimekushika hapa. Do
Later.
this. Nunua chupa ya hii pesa, mi tuachane because
In fact, hata haikuwa cash.
Ilikuwa cash alibaya kwa mimi na mimi kasema you know what because in my mind I had already written off your deni. So but when nikampata nikasema you know because you are here and clearly you are spending money, you have some,
You might as
pay
well.
me back what you owe me. So it's very weird how people wanna
It's the
weird.
expectation that society have of you.
But I think I know why that happens. I have a relative who is like that. His salary is quite good, but he never has money. Because once he's paid, sherehe, alipe rent,
after that
hana shit after that. Sherehe yake ina last a whole week.
Alafu
Iishe.
Is he a banker by any chance?
He's not.
He's not.
He's a contractor. He's a contractor. So he and then contractor jobs, they pay well. Yeah, because unapata kazi ya engineering mahali nini, you go to the site, you get good money. Maybe you've been contracted by another foreign company, something like that. So the pay is really good. So with more money comes more comes up a higher status, you know,
Yeah.
because utaki ati seme unalipwa ka 500 Gs, hakuna vile unaenda diani for what.
Yeah,
you
you
can
won't
go
even-
outside the country.
Thailand.
Exactly, Thailand.
very
Unaona,
fast.
anaenda for a week. It's not cheap to go outside the continent for a week. You come back, you don't have jack shit. Sawa, umefanya vizuri, umelipa rent, but after that you have nothing else. You have
nothing.
2 kids,
Then they start getting into debt.
they start getting into debt. So it's the same thing.
Alafu, you know, the
It's
funny
a
thing
whole
is,
circle.
people will ask you, okay, wewe uko na pesa mingi hivi, uko na deni aje? Because people always see you balling out, like, why are you in such a bad position? People have no sympathy for people who like
Who have
ball
money.
out. You have money, alafu always uko in bad
Exactly.
financial position. They have no
Alafu,
sympathy for you.
I've noticed in institutions like in marriages, yeah, sometimes in Africa Point, the man has so much debt, he asks the wife to take the debt.
Have you guys
for
ever
him.
talked about
Yeah, it happens.
marriages and finances?
No, not yet.
We
But
will.
itakuja,
We will.
Please invite me.
Please.
You
In fact,
will
leo
be there.
you know, for the first time, I think, guest ameongea kutushinda, and that is something
That is
amazing.
the hata
Oh.
mimi, I'm so happy.
Umepeana so much insight.
I'm sorry, I talk too much.
No,
No,
it's
no,
okay. That's what we want, because
We needed that
we can't-
information
see,
also.
we don't know about these things. We can't speak about them as authorities, but you
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
And that's what the people who listen to this show want.
Need.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But before sasa we go into, you know, our usual music break or break,
Yeah.
venye nimesema, I want to talk about the black tax. And that's something so many Africans experience.
If not all.
If not all, yeah.
All of them.
All of them
All
experience
of them,
actually.
in one way or the other.
Unless when you're a politician, venye
Or
ulisema.
unless the ones who cut themselves off.
Of
The
bus.
family say you are cast you. That's
Njeuri uko na maringo.
which is the only way to get out of it.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
well,
Yeah, because maybe my entire life I have lived seeing the black tax like affecting my family, because my dad is our breadwinner. My mom hustled hivi, but for the most part my mom spent her time just raising us as kids, and I appreciate that. I am the person I am
stand.
today
She's a
because
queen.
of the time and effort my mother put in.
Yeah,
But
it's not been easy.
you would see, like, growing up, because the community I come from, hatuko watu wengi, and a lot of us senior sewa arid area, so a lot of us hatujaenda, like, most people hajaenda shule, most people understand the value of education. So when you make it, ukikuja Nairobi, when you start
a
earning
big
money,
deal, yeah.
now you have to take care of not just your wife and your kids, your sister's kids, your brother's kids, harambe zote, everything,
Extended
everything,
families.
all the way, the whole village. You could take 10 kids to school, unawapeleka shule every, like, times tukilipiwa school fees, my dad used to pay for like 5 other kids school fees at a time.
and they're never
When I was
satisfied,
in-
by
yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
When I was
Even
in
if you take care of 10, then
Yeah.
you neglect one,
Yeah.
they'll notice the one you left.
Yeah.
Not the 10
It's
you have.
always, why are we like that? Why are Africans like that?
You know, mpaka nini itafika point where my dad had to call all the other people, like professionals, akamwambia, we can't just like live like this, we have to set up there's an actual,
a fund.
an actual education fund yetu SAGEF,
Yeah.
ya community yetu,
Actually,
for
by
our
the way,
clans.
actually, this is the first time I've heard of a solution to black tax. I've always been asking people, what solution can you ever find for it? Because you can't just abandon
You
them.
know,
What you've just said, that's a solution.
Yeah,
The-
because
the-
they
One
contribute to
solution.
it every month. There's a monthly contribution unapea, ni kama chama, but the whole purpose of your fund ni, if somebody goes
in
to, like,
need, yeah.
somebody ameenda high school, I know that there's a boy like alienda high school akapata really good grades, akaitwa engineering, didn't have the fees, so like the fund ikamlipia the entire nini mpaka graduation mpaka now he's
Let me
working.
tell you something.
but bursaries work the same way.
Let me tell you something. I think faster. Do you know, you just told me? Do you know what? Let me tell you something. A university like Oxford. Okay? That word has just disappeared in my head. But the way it is set up right now, it is self-sufficient forever,
Yeah, I know.
even without school
They have
fees.
endowment.
The word I was looking
They
for,
have endowment,
funds.
yeah, endowment.
What you've just said, an endowment fund would solve black tax. It's a way of putting in money, and then the company invests the money in such a way that every year it brings an income enough to sustain it and its activities, but without running down the initial capital. That's what Oxford does. A lot of universities.
Actually, Ivy League schools.
Black tax,
if
all
you can
Ivy
go,
League schools, yes.
If you go like
they
on
do that.
Wikipedia, you can literally check like Brown, Harvard, all Cornell, all Ivy League school. Endowment yao imeandikwa tu hapo. You can
Imeandikwa
see
hapo.
how many billion they have, like pesa
which will
tunacheza.
never run out,
Yeah.
and it will always be earning income. That is one solution to black tax.
Yeah, but black tax is such a big thing because once you start earning money, kama mimi, like, you know, I finished campus, did some few things kwa sola, so I started working. Unacheki. Now that's when you realize black tax, I think, because now musijaiona before inanipigia.
You know
Hello,
why?
Morris niaje? What we need this to go shago, we need 5G, 6G, 7G.
It's because of the communal culture in
It's the
Africa.
communal health, and then people will
Yeah.
say that ulisaidiwa ukafika
Ulisaidiwa,
hapo. Mbona
saidiana
usaidie
pia.
wengine?
Exactly. Saidiana, mwenye utasaidia atasaidia mwenzake, tunasaidiana.
And you
si
know the
wote.
funny thing
You
is,
see?
sometimes so many people bungo japo so many people who like come say ati nilikusaidia sikusaidia like
You can never really see the tangibility of what they
But like,
did.
Juni msa ushago tu.
nime mention bursaries saizi. Why they? I remember like when we were young, yeah, bursaries were a big thing and like
Bursary iko na
imesaidia watu
politics.
Corruption.
That's the problem.
Trust me, because mimi the way I work, I have had people wa CDF wanakuja kwa ofisi yangu, si ndio? They come and ask, "Hey, Hafare, tunapeana pesa ya bursary. Do you have any unataka kupatia?"
Unasikia?
Because mimi na work na watu wa CDF like hand in hand. So when bursary comes, their bursary kifika, you enda kwa DC wako. But then if you guys ever get an opportunity, a lot of the things that work at the local level zinaanga decide kwa DC.
Kwa DC.
DC has so much power. So anything inafanywa kazi mtaani ilikuwa inapeanwa DC. Bursary zinakuwa kwa DC.
Things which go through politicians, CDF or touch.
DC.
They,
In fact, the MPs are not in charge of the CDF anymore. Ni DC, ni the deputy county coordinator or county commissioner. Yeah. So yeye ndo mtako in charge. So if you go to your DC utaona. So msoa CDF ana kama waniambia Hafare, what's up man? Tunapeana bursaries. Do you know anyone anaweza kupatia? Mtu anaishi tu area. In fact, when I was working in Langata, when I was in charge of Langata, there were so many I had opportunities where pesa chakula ya relief inakuja
Msa anaichukua.
No, analetewa gunia. Chakula relief na kama analetewa gunia for at you are working here in charge of sub county before everybody else gets it. Mimi napatiwa. Mimi sitaji gunia kwa
Hauhitaji. Like
what I did when I was given that gunia, I just like took out my phone. I know my list of people. My watu kwa ground, I called them, okay, hello. Kujeni mdistribute kwa the whatever. Because I don't need it.
now imagine if you are corrupt.
that's what happened.
Ungekuwa unauza hiyo food.
Unauza hiyo food.
But yeah,
you
so-
don't need it, so unauza.
Once you start earning money and uanze kupata pesa yako, there'll always be somebody somewhere who needs your help, especially if you are you know the thing with kama western world pia hakuna communities, hakuna like the tribes and it is so individualistic.
Nuclear family.
Yeah, ni wewe tu maybe na labda tu maanti wako na mango wako.
Why do you think the white people, the Europeans and everything, they can afford to go for holidays every and because they don't have to do all these things we do. I'm not saying it's a good thing what they do, but I'm saying it's a bad thing either. If we had a solution to the minor problems, you'd be able to be more individualistic and help yourself more.
But you know, again, it comes down to governance because there is no safety net.
That's why I've said it
Like
always comes down to
governance.
problems, which is governance, politics, corruption.
Yeah. So like you may figure because me as a social worker, there are things I experience every day
Tired.
that is if I realize that the system is so fucked. And there's something I want to talk about, I'll talk about in the next episode. But the system is so fucked that even the most basic needs, ndio, ziko left the community.
Man.
Like kama community yenu is strong,
That's
jichape
it.
brother. Like
Yeah.
there are people who will
Look at things like
fail
healthcare.
life completely. because-
Maternal health.
Something basic as matter.
Maternal health is something so basic.
Kwanza hivi wewe ni mtu wa public health unachizi tu.
Manze.
That is so basic, isn't it? Should be like free by the government. It should be
I'm telling
subsidized, free.
The number of cases,
Universal healthcare.
The number of cases in Pumwani for maternal health care
You know,
that are deteriorative.
Ah,
People
yeah.
die live.
For something so stupid.
Daktari anakupita hivi ka unakufa tu. And
Where
it's not a problem.
you see next week the government saying
Hey,
your governor is saying we are launching something for 10 billion shillings and then the money disappears. That 10 billion would have built a small facility which would save 1,000 people per year.
Ask your father to steal.
Ask your dad.
Ask your father to steal. No, we'll talk about that. This is easy because we're almost done.
Yeah.
So Shad, just nataka at the end because we're about to get into the music break.
Yeah.
So tuambie tu wewe the top 3 things advice unazapatia watu tu when it comes to money. That's it. Love to transition.
Top 3 things. Number one, avoid quick debt. Avoid quick debt. Quick money, quick debt. Avoid it. Not just debt, quick debt. Avoid it. Number 2, save. Number 3, I'm a bit old now, so number 3, live your life. Don't gauge yourself by what you have that I don't have, but the money you have that I don't have. Live what you can. Be happy.
Within your means.
Live
Yeah.
within your means.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Sasa.
Save and live within your means.
That is wonderful advice.
Yeah.
Na kama kawaida for the first time in season 3 it's time for the music break, but if you watch this on YouTube because of copyright na maneno mingi, you'll have to listen to this mix on our audio platforms.
Yeah.
A few minutes later.
So for everyone on audio, we are back from the music break. Kwa watu wa YouTube, mtindo ni ule ule. Now you might notice a new face kwa short, that's Nat.
Hi.
She was on season 2 episode 7. Yeah, episode 7 of season 2. Yeah, it was no.
Tulikuwa hiyo ya rent.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
seven.
Tulikuwa hiyo ya
7.
rent. Yes.
So we have Kiza for the past 2 seasons. You know, we do like a whole thing up. We're still gonna do it, but we are introducing a new segment. So every week we'll be focusing on a new group of creatives and everything. So we'll just tutasema about them nini, because we feel like when we have a platform, the best thing you can do is shine a light on somebody else. Check it, let them win. So for now, our creatives of the week, and please go check them out, are Likkle Pantheon. They were on the show, episode 3 of this season.
2.
Oh, season 2, yeah, episode 3 of season 2. They were on the show. Luki and Polaris, their project came out. It's a wonderful project.
Amazing.
They are working on some new stuff that me and Ivy have had, but we can't talk about, with some of Kenya's most exciting artists. So si tunanyamaza tu, because si tumesikia behind the scenes, tuko na the like tuko nayo reach, tuko kwa nyuma, si ni VIP. But zitatokea tu, but for now, please go check them out. They are doing amazing things. Their mixtape, Lap, is on SoundCloud, and also is on Mook. So if you feel it, like it's only 300 bob, go support them. 300 bob ni in the grand scheme of things.
Ati if you feel it, they'll feel it.
They'll feel it, okay.
Go buy it.
Okay.
Go support them.
Imebidi Ivy anicheck. Imebidi Ivy anicheck.
Kila siku support Kenyan content.
Yeah, but they support Kenyan content always.
Hey.
Because I believe that even above streaming, buying the actual project, because me I buy projects I fuck with.
Yeah.
Putting money directly into the artist's pocket, because if you go look at streaming na kila kitu, the stories there, because guys, you get 3 million streams on Spotify and get $1 at the end of the month. It isn't the same as somebody buying your actual project, because
that's true.
You go buy the project if you fuck with them, because they're really, really good. Their new music is amazing, inatokea very soon.
It's only 300 bob, imagine.
Yeah, only.
It's not even Uber money. Like it's
cheaper than a beer
cheaper than
at higher Nairobi clubs. Let me just put that way.
And there are lots.
Yes. So please go support them. Those are the creatives of the week. We are gonna have new ones every week for the whole season in perpetuity, as long as we have the show going, because we feel like a lot of creative supporters give us a lot of feedback on what we do, and they want to come on the show, so we feel like it's good to give back kivyetu. We have enough people who listen to the show that it has changed lives. If only like 500 people who listen to this go buy that mixtape,
that's enough.
That's enough, like for them to be like, okay, niko sawa, naeza lipa rent, naeza buy food, and I can focus on the next project. Inatatoa so much worry of them. So yeah,
also kuwapea more motivation to create.
Likkle Pantheon, you're our creators of the week. Nivo. And now for the final segment, kakawaida. Shad, tuambie, what are you grateful for in life right now? Like, just what are you happy about? What are you looking forward to? Maisha yako tuko aje?
The thing I'm most grateful for. Okay, this is just me. My daughter.
Wonderful.
So cute.
Actually, people normally ask, what have you done in life? What's the best thing you've ever done in life? The best thing in my life ever is my daughter.
Aww.
She's a beautiful kid. She's 3 years old. She's 3 years now, and we're in September.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's 3 years and 6 months. She's 3.5. Okay, I can talk about my daughter for
dad.
Naelewa.
It's my daughter. She's everything.
No, it makes sense. It makes
She
sense.
looks like me, and she laughs, and she's very funny, and she's very beautiful, and she's chebe.
Manasikia, this is how you talk about your children.
What?
Man.
No, naambia watu, this is how you talk about your children.
Right.
Useme ati mtoto wako anakulanga tu ugali anamaliza.
Analala.
That's literally. Okay, of course I'm proud of her things, the job, family. But those are by the ways.
But
I'm proud about my daughter.
Nice.
Wonderful.
That's my legacy.
Wonderful.
That's cute. I'm not. What are you
Unataka
grateful
kuongea?
for?
Umeingia tu ukatukrashia story.
Episode
ongea.
Karibu sana.
First of all, I am proud of my Ufisi, as we all know.
Ufisi?
Mpesa. Yeah. Like,
Resident.
I'm a thirsty thought all the time.
Oh.
And let me tell you guys, that shit keeps me sane. Especially watu like wakinichocha. It really keeps me sane. And I really appreciate that you people are willing to tolerate my foolishness.
But they shout out to Nat. Nat has been down with us since the beginning. But they shout out to
Honestly,
Nat.
I am also, honestly, on that note of mental health, I'm very grateful for you guys. I have learned so much from your podcasts. There are things like I sit down and I think and I ask myself, I never thought of it from that perspective.
Oh, wow.
Especially going by how much of a privileged background I've had all my life. You know, like there are things you don't, blind spots.
Yeah.
You don't really see them because you've never really had a chance to experience.
Yeah.
But you sit down and you think, people actually go through this. Na mimi nitaka hapa cause like siwezi kuoda baga yangu cause kunanyesha. And you know, like that rider is going to brave that rain just to make sure amelipa rent.
Yeah. Man.
It's really...
It's a whole perspective.
It humbles you.
Yeah, it does. It does.
humbles
It does.
you.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for a whole lot of other things, but tutaka hapa mpaka kesho.
So I was...
Hey, I'm grateful for having been able to. First of all, I'm grateful for this season. We're on YouTube, man. As in,
To go
that's
up
a
for-
whole step. Like,
Imagine new aunties are gonna see this face.
man, say we've
New
grown.
aunties have never seen.
Guy, if you listen
Teacher Wanjiku,
to,
I'm looking for you.
I didn't think you'd look like this. Tuanze tu hapo.
nobody ever thinks he looks like this to Anze Apple also. But like most of the time, I feel like he supersedes the expectation, so it's a win-win for
Of course,
him.
always.
Well,
Guy.
but I'm super grateful for the growth of Surviving Nairobi.
Yeah.
Guy, episode when I was compiling the mixes for all the season 1 and 2,
SoundCloud, by the way.
I started listening to the episodes again. And I was like, in season 1, season 0, episode 0.
When it started.
Guy, the sound was awful. And I'm like, the only people who listen to that episode are people who really fuck with us. As in, zileza manze
And you
ani
know, but
mabeshte
I
wangu.
honestly believe that kuna swali turumia tu like our friends wakisema hata nisikize
Maze,
tu. Nisikize
ama
kwanza.
hata like mse anaeka tu iendelee kuplay just for the sake of onekane
Because
kuna
I
one
remember
play.
we got like that episode, we got like across all platforms we got like 200 plays, and me and Ivy
We were
so
excited.
hyped.
Like
So
mse,
hyped. Like
200.
200 people. To get to the point here, trust is on thousands of people like
Man,
Saizi.
over 50 Gs.
Yeah.
Wow, that's big.
Oh, okay. Cumulatively over 50,000, but like
Still.
like
That's
3,000-4,000
a lot of
per
people.
episode. We
Do you know
appreciate
that
it.
MP who got less than 50,000 votes last election?
Paul Mwiteje.
12,000.
Tuanze na Paul anaweza sema nani alimvotia. Wacha. So,
Yeah,
but me, I'm grateful for the growth of Surviving Nairobi, number 1.
and everybody who fucks with us.
And every single
Everybody who
person,
fucks with us.
people who DM us, either on the Surviving Nairobi pages or on our
Personally,
individual platforms, thank you so much. We don't take that for granted. Guy, most of the time, like after you talk to us, me and Hafare have conversations like, guy, imagine mtu ameni DM kuniambia this about the podcast, and we're like super excited. We've never gotten comfortable. And I'm glad
I
that
never
we
will
never,
be there. I'll never get
yeah,
used to it. I'll
guy,
never
we
get
never
used to
get complacent, and I'm grateful for that. Another second thing,
guys, kombe
another
yangu.
thing, and the last thing I'm grateful for is my mental health, because COVID inaonyesha mtu mambo.
Wow.
That aspect, when I said that I went to Shags, it was because I'm like, me, but then nimechoka. Let me just go. Let me go and cry on my grandmother's laps and just, relax.
When you really link up now, you could tell like Ivy I'm recharge.
Yeah, because
nilipitia
I
hivi kwake,
was uko chini ya mwamba, but saizi I'm like over the hills.
You're
So
better at
I'm better off. So that's what I'm grateful for, yeah.
Again, I'm grateful. Just like again, I will always say this. I'm grateful for everyone who listens, everyone who comes back to me with criticism. I love criticism because criticism is the only way you
can
you
grow.
can grow.
Yeah.
Because I don't want everyone telling me I'm perfect because I know I'm not. I
Yeah.
can always get better at this. I love criticism, and everyone who supports us, everyone who listens, I appreciate it more and more and more. Kila siku, because I always get DMs from people. Kwanza, people who listen to Extra. I love you guys. Mimi kama unasinanga Extra, mimi nakupenda sana because Extra was a labor of love. Extra is completely separate from this show for those who know. And it was hata hivi anajua how worried I was when I was doing because I didn't know
Very.
if anybody would listen
Would
to
fuck
what I
with
was
it.
saying, would fuck with it, and to get all the positivity back. I am loving it. We are planning more stuff for Extra.
Hey.
Vitu zingine tunapangia Extra mtaamini.
But then
It's
like
the wildest shit.
Hafare's I feel like Hafare's version of, not version, but like what is it called? Whatever you give.
Unamaanisha nini wewe?
Kile uliweka for your extra the
Oh,
one
yeah.
disappear because of
Okay,
this
yeah. Naelewa. Input.
but acha nitumie input. His input for extra set the bar, and I love that it did, and like he did tremendously well. And the only thing I can do for my extra is either kumatch ama kusurpass.
Yeah.
And like even as we keep going, because extra has provided an avenue for us to
do our creative stuff.
So that you, in as much as you know us as Surviving Nairobi, now extra is, it gives you an idea of who Hafare is
As a person.
and who Ivy is as a person.
Like,
and yeah,
because
so
if you listen to the show size Nairobi, you would assume that I only focus on this
and people's
things.
aunties.
Yeah, sindio, people's aunties. Yeah, please, need too many jina zao. But extra is more of an exploration of who we are as people in our creative endeavors na nini. So fuck with extra. We are going to post some more stuff. Tunapanga kitu mpya very soon
Sana.
na kitu amazing. So yeah, also again, everybody who's been donating, we appreciate it immensely. If you have donated, we love you. Tunakupenda. You can donate again if you feel like it. If you haven't, again, number is 0742 50 93 92. Because again, we are not
Kwa description box. Yes,
we
tuko nayo. Oh my
tuko
God.
description box. We are not sponsored by anybody atunanga like as in like corporate sponsors or anything, because everything we like Adi, like for the YouTube and everything, we pay out of pocket just to keep the content going. So it would really go a long way just to donate. So we appreciate everybody who does that, na tunawapende sana. And honestly, mimi nimemalizia for this episode.
Ngoja, just kidogo, sorry. The Kenyan in me. Mine is just
Lena.
to add but one more thing.
Mine is more of a comment.
Mine is more of a comment than a suggestion. We had promised to share with Surviving Nairobi listeners our content roadmap.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that very soon.
Yeah, we're going.
our
Also
content
going,
roadmap is
especially
coming.
now that we are on YouTube, it's going to be way easier for us to share with.
I'll make some shit graphic.
Yeah, we'll have like a whole visual board.
Yeah,
for that.
yes.
Yeah. So
We have an entire
that's
content
coming.
roadmap for this season.
Yeah.
Every season, by the way, tumesema from this season going forward, at the beginning we'll have a content roadmap, so you know like how many episodes are coming, what's coming on extra, what we're gonna talk about, ndio anticipate na mjue like this is what's going.
So that even like when you're donating, you know
understand
where it's
why.
going. Yeah.
So yeah,
That's we good. We out.
we are back for season 3. Tatu, Tres, San, whatever language you say it. Yeah, tumerudi season 3.
Press. Ivato.
Mini Mluya. Mini Mluya.
Ivato.
Etu ni Seyat.
Say yeah.
Tunaendelea ya season Seyat.
Hey, yenyu ni sexy guy.
So yeah, guys, see you on the next episode.